Hi. I wanted to go back on the mental health thing for just a little bit. I noticed people in my comments have talked about how they are struggling with their mental health as well. It kind of affects people at different times. It can affect you as a child, it can affect you as a teenager, it can affect you in your young adulthood, it can affect you in your middle age, can affect you as you get my age. Uh, it's hard to fathom why it seems to manifest sometimes out of the blue. Uh, you might have had some problems with it in the past, but all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere and just hits you like a thunderbolt. Um, to the people who commented who suffer from it, I understand. Um, if you want help, I would look into therapists. I did happen to find, I don't know all towns, but some towns do support a human support services. Um, these are entities that will allow you to get therapists sometimes at no cost. It has a sliding scale based on your income. Sometimes they even have psychiatrists, not full time psychiatrists, but psychiatrists, nurse assistants, practitioner there that can prescribe medication. Um, Not all towns do have that. It's just some towns do. Um, it They serve the county that they're in. So if you do suffer with it and you're trying to find out how to get a therapist, I would recommend looking into that. Just look into therapy in your area, see if they have a some sort of human support services. It might be named differently, but they can sometimes, like I said, provide mental health access to medical for sliding fees. There are groups on Facebook. I have one that I joined. Um, I talk with sometimes. Uh, that kind of help to know that other people are going through the same thing. Um, Mental health is kind of a different beast. It's one of those things that it doesn't show up like a normal disease would. When you catch something like Parkinson's or ALS, which my mom passed away with, or cancer or anything like that, it can kind of it manifests itself eventually where you see it physically on the person. Uh, Mental health problems doesn't do that. Unless of course it gets to the point where the person is has a mental health breakdown, where they just like go out into the street and start to yammer, or they attempt suicide, um, which I have in the past one time, and I talked about it, which wound me up in a psych ward for 3 days. The way it dwells on you, it's hard to explain. Unless you go through it, it's not something most people can understand. I know I have tried in the past, talked to my family about it, but it's just not understandable. Uh, Most times you'll hear people say, just need to get more happier, or make more friends, or stuff like that, which is hard because, like I said, if you like me in the past, I never thought about it as a social anxiety where it was hard for me to make friends. I did have friends, uh, but they weren't close friends. I did make one close friend, and that was about it. Um, I had trouble talking to the opposite sex. I would freak out and have issues doing that, and that cost me, I think, a relationship at one time. I think I might have mentioned this in another video, but when I was in my now around 19 or so, I was going back to school, and which I should have finished. And I was working part time at a convenience store that was connected to a Dairy Queen, which I worked at when I was in high school. But apparently, there was a girl that was interested in me from there, and she came over and talked to me and stuff like that. But I never took it to the next level because I was just didn't know what to do. I was kind of frozen on what to say and what to do. I mean, I know that it doesn't affect all guys, but it does affect some, and I'm one of those ones that affected. And I'm sure it did cost me a lot going up. That I missed signals. I missed uh, things that maybe could have got me into a relationship. I did try online in the 90s, where I did meet a couple women, and that didn't work out. Um, Apparently, I'm better talking online at the time than I was in real life. Um, Another thing too, when you're up in age, they expect you to have, you know, more of a solid income base and all that, which I was kind of fleeting at the time, and I didn't. And so a lot of women, not all women, I'm not generalizing women, but a lot of women will expect guys to be able to support them, and but enough out of that. But just back to the mental health, that uh, the, when you deal with it, it's you try to cope with it. Right now, I'm looking into a genetic test. I went to my doctor about. It's called Genzyme, because I had issues with certain medications to deal with anxiety and depression, and this is supposed to help with that. Basically, be able to give you a medication that you can take that will help you, that doesn't have the side effects um, that maybe other medications are doesn't help you like other medications couldn't. So I am looking into that to try to help with it. As I get older, like I said, a lot of times another thing that's when you have mental health problems and anxiety is a big culprit in regrets. Regrets of things you didn't do correctly, regrets from the past. And I know it's the kind of thing like you can't change the past, you have to move on. You have to try to, you um, learn from your mistakes and try to do better. Uh, my things when you get anxiety, you always have that voice that's in your head that tells you you're a failure, you're a loser, um, that you made these mistakes and there's nothing you can do about them. It is a not I know I'm gonna sound religious here, but it's kind of like a demon in your head and takes over your brain basically, and it tells you constantly what a failure you are. At times it can push you towards self harm, and it is hard to cope with. Medication does help. From my understanding, I need to find the right medication, I guess. Right now, what I take in helps a little bit, but not much. Uh, I worry constantly about everything. I worry about the future. I worry about finances. I worry about what I'm going to be like when I get older. If I do start having medical problems, who's going to take care of me? I have no kids. Um, what's going to happen to me? They had a thing called the was it elderly orphans or something like that. That's about people that either don't have kids or have kids that don't care, and they basically have to try to live on their own, which is hard. I see these videos, and it really hits that when you think about it, because you don't think about it when you're younger. If you're in your 20s now, in your teens, uh, you're not going to think about when you start hitting into your 60s and stuff like that, of who's going to take care of you. Um, my thoughts, if you are in your 20s and your 30s, you still have a chance. Uh, go If you do go to college, go to something you know you can get work at, medical field, anything, something, and also save for your future. Put something away. I didn't do that. I should have, and I didn't. I started to. When my mom passed away, I put money in the bank into CDs, and I just kind of eventually spent it. And I think if you ask me now what I spent it on, I can't tell you. Um, it's weird. It's like I just don't remember what happened, and that money could have went a long way if I would have saved it, and I didn't. So that was mistake number one. I am now putting money away, um, into a thrift savings plan and a savings account. But I should have been doing that for a long, long time, and I did. So that's part of the regrets. That's how it ties to the mental health. Um, those are the regrets that come up. Other regrets that come up is a lot of things I should have done. Uh, I might have mentioned. I think I mentioned this other video when I was living in a different area down south of where I live now. We owned a home, and my mom had put it in my name. The only stipulation she had gave me when she put it in my name was that I always have my one sister a place to live. In which I said, yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, no matter what, blood is blood. And she did that because she wanted us to have something when she was gone. And when she got hit by ALS, uh, my sister talked her into, my one sister, oldest sister, talked her into selling the house and moving up to this area. My regret that comes from my anxiety is that what I should have done is had a job that I could have took care of the house and said, no, no, you go ahead, I'll keep the house, and when you get better, you have a place to come back to. Because at that time we had no idea she had ALS. They were thinking she just had a stroke, and I didn't do that. That's another regret. The regrets pile up and the anxiety pile up, like I said in another video, like a warehouse full of boxes, and you dwell in those boxes. Ruminations is what they call it. It does pile on. It affects you emotionally and sometimes physically, to a point where you just feel like you really screwed up, and you do think at times about self harm. That just you messed up your life so bad that there's no moving on, but you try to cope each day. And I know others, like I said, I read your comments. I think I even replied, no, like I said, no, you're not alone. That I I understand. Others understand. We all understand. We're like a community that's affected by this. Um, it is a disease. Uh, Whether people don't think of it as that much of a disease, it is because they don't live it. They don't understand it um, because they don't physically see it. Uh, if mental health caused your body to deteriorate to a point where they could physically see it affecting you, then it would probably be more of a thing that people would understand. But it doesn't. All it does, for the most part, unless you do self harm or get to a point where you just drop down in the middle of somewhere and have a breakdown, they don't understand it. So that's why I keep making these videos and trying to tell everyone that replies and that sees them that you're not alone when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. And sometimes you do try to get a support network, and there's sometimes family members do not understand what you're going through. Uh, I don't really have a support network. I do see a psychiatrist. I do see a therapist. Uh, but it is something that you go through sometimes alone. So anyway, I don't want to make this a super long video, but I just wanted to talk about it today. Um, it's been kind of hard. I worry about things coming up, and I try to deal with it, try to get past the worry. But anyway, I wish everyone happy Labor Day and hope your day goes well. Thank you again for watching this video. And like I said, know if you're suffering from the same problems, know you're not alone. And have a great day. Thank you for watching.